Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, we are yet again talking Mortal Kombat 11, and yet again talking about the powers custom variations have unlocked for so much of this roster. And today we're highlighting one specific character, which is Sheeva, and specifically one specific move, although we'll talk a little bit about some other variation stuff as well, which is the Dragon Stance. Now, this move was not allowed before in any competitive variation, and perhaps rightly so, because this move is absolutely insane, and just the option of it existing makes Sheeva so much better. So let's talk about it. So first up here, just to show you the Dragon Stance in the customization screen, just what it looks like, I just want to really hammer home before we get to the meat of the video, it's a single point. Like, it is not even a 2-point move for how much this move gives you options wise and just how much terrifying it is. Like, wow. Compared to some other moves that are considered, 2-bar moves, 2-point moves, like say Relic Lure, or Kano's Snake Bite. Gross. Like, man, this move is just so much better. So let's get to it and let's talk about why it's crazy. So to perform move, simple back forward 1, and yes, it does replace your basic fireball, just so you know, but you know what, you don't need it when you have this. So yeah, got 4 hands, got 4 fireballs, and yes sir, you can shoot them off. And not only can you shoot them off, you can control the directions, so you can have them all aim lower to the ground. These are mids though, just so you know, they're not lows. That'd be a little ridiculous. Or you can aim them all up into the air, to catch people who are jumping. So effectively, you have become a turret. So whatever you want to do, you can do it any option here, mix and match, so however you choose. And also, at any point during this, you can throw a couple and then hit up, and you cancel the stance. And unlike almost every other move where you're in a stance in the game, canceling it is completely free. So a lot of times it costs you like a defensive bar to cancel a stance in this game, and not so much here. You can do it pretty as you please. So you can go cancel, pressure, all that kind of stuff. And the options, if that was just it alone, 4 fireballs, and this is a natural combo. They all combo into each other for almost 19% without any use of any meter. And any versions of these can also combo into each other too. So like the lower one, same deal. A lot of characters got to burn a bar to get less damage than that. And for Sheeva, completely meterless. And, we got more options. So we got mid, high, lows, all that kind of stuff. And we also have EX. And as you can see here, so that's an 11% damage fireball. And it's nice and slow. So you can pretend you're Guile from Street Fighter and kind of go behind the move. And if they try to jump out of the way or do something, you can easily just deal with it. And if you were to have the enemy block it, well then, hey, let's see how plus on block it is. Oh, plus 63 on block. Okay, so it's definitely your turn if it gets blocked. And hey, we got even more options. So if you were to hold up while you enhance it, we shoot out 4 separate fireballs. So basically all of them all at once in a big arc. So if you don't know exactly what they're going to do, stay low to the ground, maybe jump, this can catch a lot of options. And if you are fairly close, they can all hit once again here, almost 20%, not bad damage. And finally, we can hit down and enhance, and we get these big old ground pillars here. And these are true lows, by the way. So these must be blocked while crouching. And if it hits, well, then a lot of pushback, the damage is not as big. But it is there, just so you know, and it's just another option. So it's an incredibly versatile move just on its base before we even get into the other stuff here. And once again, it's only a 1-point variation move, so you can pick 2 other things. And Sheeva is not hurting for options. She's got a lot to work with. So you can basically build the character you want with this ultra usable turret. So hopefully I've impressed upon you it's already a good move, right? But now let's talk about the stuff here where it just makes Sheeva better across the board. Now let's talk about how it just dramatically enhances Sheeva's base game plan outside of the move. This is the true strength of everything. So let's take it just a basic level first and let's look at forward 1. So Sheeva is a character not known for like strong neutral, right? Well, unless you consider the stomp neutral. You know what? Some people do, because it's hard to escape even if you know it's coming sometimes, right? But yeah, she's strong up close, especially depending on the variation of how many like mix-ups and all that kind of stuff you have. But, you know, this critical neutral range, she never had much except for forward 1. And forward 1, it works. But the problem is, you didn't really get anything off of it. Like, many of your options from it, besides the base 1-4, always were just not, either just not fantastic or carried some inherent element of risk. And the Dragon Stance, all of a sudden, well, we're going to be adding damage to it, so goodbye low damage, and we're also going to be removing a lot of any real risk outside of some edge case scenarios. So, first and foremost, just to get it out of the way, Dragon Stance totally combos from forward 1. So all of a sudden here, instead of, you know, the lowly forward 1-4 getting 11%, you are now getting 20+%, so 22.5% effectively, just from a single neutral hit. Considering this is her only real big neutral button of any worth, right? You know, back 1, not doing it. Forward 2, no. Back 2, no. Back 3, it does indeed reach from this far away. But it is a fair bit slower here, 24 frames versus 16, right? And forward 4, not so much in the range department, right? So it gives her best neutral button option a lot more to work with. Now, I know you're a smart cookie and you're already thinking, well, rooflemonger. Well, I'm just going to poke you out of it. You know, you're done. I'm going to see you go into stance, mash down 1, dash down 3, mash whatever my button is, and that's all there is to it. Well, about that. So we got the old Devora bot here, and her down 1 has wicked range for what a down 1 is, right? It can hit from ranges that are just like not possible that other characters can hit from. And the thing is here, most characters, down 1, down 3, they're going to just whiff. Due to the pushback of the forward 1, if you try to mash it down 1, like say your Sub-Zero 6-frame reversal, down 1 something, you're just going to get hit. And that's all there is to it. You cannot reach in time. And for someone like Devora, she can reach. So now let's see what happens out here. So Sheeva bot is set to record to do this exact scenario. Down 1. Oh, we trade. So I get my 2%. And Sheeva, she gets 5%. And this is only if you know exactly what to do and you know exactly what's coming, right? And that's the best I can hope to do is trade. So, I don't know, you basically kind of still lose out. You take more damage and you're in a lot more hit stun than the enemy is. So, not a great win. Okay, rooflemonger, what if I jump out? Haha, I'm going to definitely get Sheeva. What a silly person. I'm just going to jump everything. Well, oh. So 4 jumps is a little rough. Now neutral jumps, absolutely. Neutral jumps will work. And back jumps, same deal. So say if you were Kano or something, you could like jump back Kano ball, right? Fantastic. But then here comes layer 2. Any kind of jumping up or jumping backwards auto loses to the straight shots. And of course jump forward as well, right? So the way this works is generally you do want to start with the low shot because the mid shots are high. So that time our poke will win, all right? But if you think the person is inclined to do any kind of jumping shenanigans, then absolutely got them dead to rights. And some of the play, counterplay, getting really into layers of depth. Forward 1 itself is only -2, right? So if you do this and you think someone's going to jump, you can easily just chase them in the air or whatever. Like, it's barely negative at all if you just don't go into the stance. And no, you're not reacting to the stance in time before the first low fireball comes out. Don't be that guy. It's not happening. So mid-screen, forward 1 was basically the only thing that reliably comboed. But in the corner, turns out just about everything combos. So like back 1, 2, 2. Hey, wouldn't you know it, combo. 25% meterless, not bad. Let's try back 2, 1, 1. Oh, combos, wouldn't you know it, 26%. And here's the big thing too. So these combos, they don't knock the enemy down. So no rolls, no wake up 3, wake up 2, delay tech, all that stuff. You're standing. And while you're standing, turns out you're plus. So depending on where you hit, depending on the move, it can be +2 or +3. But yeah, so right here, I'm +3 in your face. So it's my turn. Like, if we both just, you know, mash that down 1 right away, me as Sheeva, I'm going to win every single time because the numbers just work in my favor. So you can get your damage in just fine, right? And it's respectable enough damage, like 25, 26. And then you're plus, and it's still your turn. So, man, like, this move's utility through the roof. And, of course, if you had, like, whatever combo variation, don't let me dissuade you from doing your big combo. But, you know, 25% for a standing foe and it's still your turn, that is well worth it. Now, to go back to this big mid projectile, we already talked about, you know, how it's very difficult to get around, all that kind of stuff. It's mid, you can't duck it. It's very slow, so you can just walk behind it. But here's the thing, this move is actually very difficult to jump. I mean, like, very difficult. Myself, like, I practice this, right? I can rarely successfully jump over it. Almost all the timings you think you have to jump, they don't work. If you jump a little bit too early or a little bit too late, the hitbox on this move is absolutely massive. Like, it is, hitbox-wise, it has to be the single biggest projectile in the game. So if you try to avoid it in the traditional ways of just jumping over it, you're playing with fire. Because you gotta wait till, like, the last possible second to jump, and you can easily wait too long and then you get hit because, once again, the hitbox is really big, and there's just a very small window to actually successfully jump over it. So normally jumping over fireballs is like one of the most core things in any given fighting game, right? And in this game, and this move, it is actually incredibly difficult. Like, try it for yourself. I ain't overselling this. It is actually pretty hard to jump. There are just certain distances, if it gets too close, it is already too late. So you just kind of have to deal with it. You have to be in a very perfect spacing, in a very perfect way. Otherwise, you're just getting blasted by this move. Two very important things to note. If you successfully jump the fireball, whoops, you can get Street Fighter 2'd. So you can jump it, and before you get to touch the ground, you can be hit by more additional fireballs. And also, say you screw up your jump and land in the fireball. Oh, whoops, it's almost a 30% combo. So, it is very difficult to navigate, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so rooflemonger, making your neutral better, that's all well and good. You know, all these things we can do to people on block, that's fine. Being in the corner and, you know, just restanding people and being in their face while at plus, that's fantastic. But where's the dirt this offers? Well, hey, we got some. So, to be frank, if you're playing Sheeva, you're probably here to stomp people, right? And it just makes stomp just a little bit more threatening because, once again, the whole idea of having multiple threats on the screen at once, right? So while you're dealing with this, well, then maybe you weren't looking for that. And if you were to say stomp right away after doing it, well, it can be hard to deal with. And once again, if you have tracking stomps, all the better. And once again, keep in mind, too, since it's like near impossible to jump that fireball, like, you're just in a rough way. So if you have aimable stomps, it just becomes so much more threatening because it's just a big minefield to get around. And if you were to back away from it, it can literally cover her stomp if she whiffs, right? So just very strong. And that's a lot to talk about one specific variation move, right? And do I think this makes Sheeva top tier? Well, I don't know about that. Plenty of time to tell, because a lot of characters are becoming very strong now. Like, we've already gone over Kano specifically. Kano's getting a lot. Jackie, Rich is getting richer. A lot of her classic stuff is just better now, thanks to plasma grenades, all that kind of stuff. So top tier, I don't know. But what I'm trying to tell you here is Sheeva definitely deserves a second look, because she's learning to play with fire, and turns out it works well for her. This move was hidden to many people like us before because it wasn't in a competitive variation, and now that it is allowed in competitive variations, whoo, it's a good one. And with all that said, my friends, I guess that's the end of this video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Mortal Kombat.